Lisa Haisha here at the Soul Blazing Sanctuary, and I have David Kim with me today. Here's a little bit about who David Kim is. David Kim is the founder and managing member of Caliber Capital LLC, which has major interest in Baja Fresh, La Salsa, and several other companies, as well as the author of Ignite, the 12 Values that Fuel Billionaire Success. He is also the founder of Ignite Enterprises LLC. Ignite Enterprises offers aspiring entrepreneurs and current business owners the chance to learn directly from David how to grow their businesses while receiving the finest, most comprehensive, over-the-shoulder business education ever created. He doesn't teach theory. David's content focuses solely on delivering the practical knowledge and resources necessary for running a successful business. Programs represent decades of David's experience in creating the systems critical to ensuring that your business is prepared for exponential growth. In 2011, his appearance as a CEO of Baja Fresh on CBS's hit show Undercover Boss drew one of the show's largest audiences to date and resulted in unprecedented and never before seen web traffic, according to AOL. So that's who David Kim is. Hi, David. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Lisa. Nice meeting you.
Yeah. So how does that feel? I mean, this is a pretty impressive resume.
You know, I've never seen a bad resume. You don't want to believe everything that's written on a resume.
Yeah.
I really wanted to capture some truth of how to describe oneself or the things that we do in life.
Yes.
Because what we hear and see many times could be misled, or it has a lot of adjectives that truly is not, or we get disappointed after we see either the final product or the service or who we deal with. So I wanted to really try to put it in a context where when I started Ignite Enterprises, it was really more of teaching people, coaching, and advising them how to start their business, grow their business, because so many of what is being taught or so much of what people buy when they actually go through the process, people get disappointed. I still remember when I was in high school, I would watch these television infomercial programs, and I get my dad's credit card and I tell him I need to buy some of these, how to buy a house for no money down, all those things. I bought him, and when I get him, I never even read him, but I bought him and I looked through it, but it was never, it didn't have details. It's like when I get instruction to put a computer or TV set together, the instructions are never very clear about things. So it's very confusing. So every time I buy something for, let's say, for my kids where I have to put something together, I read the instructions like not even halfway, and I throw it away and look at the box and see how does the box look at the end, how it comes out. So I wanted to do more of a hands-on visual aspect in this company that I've created, to really walk through people every aspect of things. And sorry that I haven't really answered your questions directly, but I keep going on the side, on little on the side. But yes,
Well, what's the greatest piece of advice you've ever received?
The greatest, lots of advices I received that were great. One of the advices that I received in terms of business structure is, David, you have to focus and make sure that your culture of your people is defined, and you have to make sure you have to have a certain culture. And I really thought, no, in business that's not true. In business you have to turn a profit, you have to execute, and all those other things that we are all accustomed to knowing or learning. But as the companies that we acquired and I started to get pretty big, and I now realize that, yes, now I see what these people who have experience were telling me what they've gone through, and why certain things like culture, core values, things like that are more important. Because to me, I just thought they were kind of boring things, right?
Yes.
I spend the whole day and he talks about culture. Are you
Right.
kidding me? Right? So I pay this guy for a culture lecture? No, but there is a reason why people talk about these things, and there's a reason why they emphasize over and over again what's more important. So I really thought through these years of learning from others what people taught me, and through all the failures I've had so many failures in my life. And I would think that by now at my age, I would be better at it.
Right.
I guess I could usually learn.
So what's the biggest self-growth hurdle you've had, and how did you overcome it?
One of the most difficult parts in my life was dealing with people that, let me use a harsh word that I'm trying to use. I was watching the debate yesterday with the Republican Party, and I had one of the candidates say, I'm trying to find a soft word, not a harsh word, on a certain subject matter. And one of the most difficult things I went through is getting disappointed and being betrayed by the people that actually you trusted the most in life. And that was very hard for me.
So
and
how did you get over it?
I started to focus on the future, on what's important, what is positive things in life, not the negative aspects of things. So instead of putting my attention on what had happened and dwelling on the hurt, I said, okay, I'm going to take all that negative spirit out of there and focus on the future, the positive spirits.
Yes.
And not think, talk, or mention, or even contemplate all those negative things that caused such hurt, but to continuously look for future. I say future by hope, and having new relationships, new projects. So that's how I overcame it.
Yeah, that's great advice, because a lot of people have these setbacks with something where they get disappointed, or where they're let go and they feel like they've done a good job, or whatever it is, and it's hard for them to get excited about going out there again because trust is broken. So your advice is to just move forward and not focus on that, focus on the positive and what you learned possibly from that job or from that experience, and take that with you.
Yes. The negative things that it's like this. When, since I'm in retail, I'm always trying to put analogies together. And let me try an analogy here. People like to talk about negative things. I went to that restaurant and it was horrible, right? And then people gravitate to that kind of information better that, I went there and, the restaurant was great, right? So for some reason, the way that I see how we are wired is we get more enjoyment out of these dramatized story, the negativity aspect for some reason. So I realized that if you focus more on negative things, because in our lives, so many things come our direction that are negative. But how do you now take that same negativity and actually put it into a different point of view and take the same information and turn that into a positive?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of mind control.
It is. Absolutely.
It is. And it's easy for somebody like me to tell others that, hey, focus on the positive things. But when you are in that fire and you are actually going through that hurt, it's very hard. We all become hypocrites on it.
Yes, of course. It takes really a strong person and a strong mind to say, okay, now I'm in the middle of experiencing it. How am I going to react and choose to handle it in a different way instead of being just reactive in that moment? Absolutely. And I want to ask you about another thing about setbacks, since you're probably an expert at this, since you've achieved great success.
And failures.
Yes, and failures. Which most people don't see. They just see, David Kim, he's this, and that, so he's never failed. He's one of those people who just have all the answers. So if someone's starting a business, because this is most of my clients, they have a passion, they have something that they want to do, they're doing it and they do it well, but they don't know how to monetize it, and they feel that monetizing it takes away from their authenticity. Especially with my European clients, they have a really hard time, they say, with the way Americans or whatever monetize things or are so bold or in your face more than, laid back. So how would you find that balance for people who really want to make money and not have their career be a hobby because they're making very little money, but not being so aggressive and in your face? Like those big, emails that we always get. Buy now. If you don't do it, this will happen and that will happen. And, the pages and pages of copy. How do
Lisa, in my younger days, I would focus on the monetization of things. Okay, rate of return. I mean, that's basically how people in the world of money functions. But I realized that, and I'm seeing like curvatures. I'm seeing. Sorry that my answers are not straightforward. So just bear with me, okay? As much as you can, because it has more depth in it. It's not just one simple politician answer. It's a gathering of a lot of data and experience that I've seen in my life to come to that kind of answer. I always wondered why we study history. And my kids all come home and say, Daddy, I don't want to study history. I was the same thing. I had to memorize all these dates and all that. What was the relevance of history? And now as an adult, I'm finding what is going on in the world and what I see of repeats, repetitions, things that happened in the past. Why is it happening again? And I realize that the reason why we study history is that we don't repeat the bad things that happened to us. That's what I believe what history is all about. Well, with the invent of technology and social media and whatever we call this, information and behavior is becoming much faster. What took 10 years now can take 6 months. When there was an issue in, let's say, a big earthquake in Australia, we'll probably find out 2, 3, 4 days later. These days, if there's an earthquake, you know it instantly. It's like in 1 second. So as the world is moving into instant information, I saw the curvature of how humankind developed, right? From the Stone Age and then the Industrial Revolution. Now we're going through an information revolution. So the steepness was like, it was gradual, and then suddenly this information age, it goes very steep up. That means everything is being accelerated. And why I bring this issue up is this our behavior. We were so bombarded with so much information. We need to execute certain things and get things done and get a profit and all that, right? So we've learned all of this, but we're missing something in that process. And what we're missing in that process is that balance you just talked about. So do you just all go for just the monetary part and just keep pushing that? Because in the past, when we were at that constant level, yes, you can keep pushing that monetary, but now people are saying, no, I want to do something else. The service is not good, or why I'm describing all this is this. The point is that when you don't have a balance in your life and you only focus on monetary or only focus on certain areas and you don't balance it, eventually people will know so quick the truth, they'll either drop you or they'll go with you. It's because these days, business can grow really fast because you have all this instant information, but it can destroy you overnight.
Absolutely.
Like instantly, right? Okay, so the severity of success and failures are huge these days. So how do you monetize all this? Well, I've seen too many people take the one side of monetary, and we're finding out that the world, not just the US, but the whole world is in a financial difficulty, right? Because we're all interconnected now. So one goes, we're all going to feel the effects now. And I was in New York several weeks ago, and a good friend of mine who trades really large volumes of capital, and he was telling me that, David, Now, people never have learned here. There's a reason why suddenly everywhere in the world, all these people showed up one day and said that, hey, we're all going to pump money into the system. There must be something catastrophic that those people know that we don't know, average people don't know.
Yes.
That's about to happen. And why these things happen is because I think we were way on one side of it. Just monitor, get it as much as you can. So then on the other side, how do you deal with a nation that says, I don't want to work, right? I'm lazy. Let all the other people work, and I want to get, subsidies from government. So now you go so extreme to the other side. So I think there has to be a balance. And that is what I talk about in my book. When people read my book, they go, damn it, this common sense stuff, it's a basic element of how a human being has to behave.
Right.
I said, look, when I actually interviewed all these very highly successful billionaires, they have these simple foundations in line. Because right now we want that instant answer, instant success, instant something. So we're always searching for that, but we don't work on who we are as a balanced human being. And that's what I actually talk about, those traits of how a balanced billionaire becomes a billionaire, because they have these balances that a lot of people say that they have or they know, but it doesn't function physically, mentally, emotionally. So sorry to answer this in such long way, but how you balance things is
the next question of what does it take to be in the top 1% of your field and be happy, balance.
Lisa, I go talk to, now I'm in a lecture circuits, and people ask me to come speak for their organization, and I go see these high-level executives, and I'm thinking to myself, hey, Mr. Grasshopper, I used to be there. The amount of pressures they get,
yes,
right? They're at the highest level of success. They're at the pinnacle point of their careers, right? And boy, these powerful people, why is it that they fall for all these other addictions? Addictions of power, money, sex. And there's so many things that they can't find that. It's because I think they did not know what is important in life. And I didn't know anything about life's meanings too, but I started to find out when I started to have family, when I started to have children, and then when I started to experience losing people through death,
yes,
and I said, wow, I see now where the mind plays tricks on you, right? There's wants and greed and all that, but yet your body doesn't function, because there's a good and bad in both sides of who we are. And I think when I go talk to these people, I do tell them, look, as much as you're at the height of your career and you want to learn more to be that 1%, I actually bring them down and say, that's not that important. What's really important is, what is your core values? Are you truthful to yourself? And when I talk to them about these really deep inner side, I have several responses that come from them. Very few do I get who invited me over, have they negatively said anything bad about it. Okay? But I'm sure some people do. But 99% of them actually are blown away that I can go talk about these things, about the balancing of life. Because when you do balance, now I was talking to this one large company and the CEO was there too, and here I am telling this whole high-level guys that they have to balance. I'm thinking, oh, what is the CEO going to think of me?
Yes.
The guy invites me to come speak, and I'm telling these guys to balance their life. And I said, by balancing your life, then what's going to happen is you're going to bring more wisdom and peace into your organization, and your organization can accelerate much better than you think you can. And I gave him an analogy. You are just like a ship in an ocean. Yes, you have to steer the ship and all that,
yes,
and buoyancy is what keeps the boat up. But the ocean is so big now that if you don't really think back and make the right decisions, the right decisions for the future of the organization, your boat will sink right away. So you have to really be careful about that, and you really have to understand what balance is, and that comes from experience. So, I'm talking about these things. I'm going through struggles with balance too, but I think if a lot of the guys who are at that top 1%, a lot of them do know what that balance is, and that's what I believe.
Okay, that's wonderful. I think that'll be so helpful to a lot of my clients. And so many people just get caught up. Yeah, they just get caught up in the monetary aspect of how much money are you making, because that's what everyone's focused on. So that's wonderful, because you can't really monetize a business if you don't have balance, or you'll end up failing midstream or lose energy or get sick, or something will happen if you're not taking care of yourself in every area. So
Lisa, I had a situation where I called a good friend of mine, ran a huge company. Was like on a Tuesday afternoon. He picks up the phone, and he's picking up the phone from his home. And you can hear all this background noise with the kids yelling and screaming. I said, "Steven, where are you?" He goes, "I'm at home." "Aren't you supposed to be working?" Because, no, I promised my son to finish out the club, Boy Scout things, and they're all here, and we're finishing the project. I said, "Steven, you run a how many billion-dollar company? You're there at home working with your son on his Boy Scout project?" that really hit me.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, that memory chip is instilled in my head now. And it took me, Lisa, over 10 years to actually think about it and put it into a behavior. Like today, I did not know I had a 6 o'clock appointment in LA. But I forgot that I have to go to my son's taekwondo demonstration he has. So I actually called the guy and canceled on him and said, I have to go see my son's, taekwondo. In the past, I would criticize people like, taekwondo, go see him next time, right? This is more important. No, I think at a certain point when you start understanding balance, is that whether I meet the guy tonight or I meet the guy on Monday is not going to make a difference. But now I am trying to condition myself to practice the balance so that I can balance the family and the work.
Okay, I love that. I love that. And people hearing that from you, it might really hit them and create a memory chip in their mind of, if David Kim can do this and it took him 10 years to achieve that, maybe I could achieve it at the beginning of my career or right now, wherever they are in their career. So that's great. So what do you want your legacy to be?
I really didn't think about that, but I did once talk about a legacy to be the fish, the salmon fish. The salmon during spawning, they go up the river, right? They go upstream. And I'm not sure whether the salmons know that they're going to die after they lay their eggs. But I have to assume maybe they know. But, they go up there, they lay their eggs, and they die. And I really want to see if the next generation, because I'm realizing that I'm aging now, and it's the next generation that needs to lead this country, lead freedom, lead whatever that is right in this world. And if I can leave something for them so that they don't repeat the mistakes that our generation or the past generations made, because I am very concerned about the direction of where this country is going, the direction of many things that are going wrong, and our children, are they capable? Do they have the fortitude and the courage to actually lead so that they can have a better life and a safe life? So I guess that's, I can compare my legacy to a fish.
Okay. Well, that's beautiful. I love it. I love that you also do bring so much humor into your life. You're a person who does laugh a lot. You're grounded. You're at peace. And you're a billionaire. I mean, come on. So if anyone could take just that from this conversation, that would make me very, very happy.
And Lisa, I'm not a billionaire. See, that's another myth, right? I have to always tell them, put a disclaimer to everybody. I only interviewed billionaires, right? Because I was so, what's the word? when I came to this country, I love this country, by the way, Lisa. This is a country of land of opportunity. Anything that you want to do is possible. You just have to put your soul and your passion to it and do it the right way. And I was so like amazed by so many wealthy people in this country. And why is it that God blessed so many great people living in this country, and we call it the United States of America, and why did it have the definition of land of opportunity? And that's what I wrote about. This is not about me, it's about others. So that, and then I didn't want to talk about the monetary side. I really wanted to understand the foundational base of who they were. Because I used to build houses or remodel houses when I was in high school. Remember, I bought all those tapes on the television how to buy houses for free, right? So I kind of learned from that trick. And it was funny. I used to build restaurants too through those experiences. And, building something, the most boring part and the most unproductive part is the time where you have to grade your ground and pour concrete. And you have to wait because it has to harden. And those are the times it's like, time is going by, I got to make the next interest payment, but you can't do anything. But once you get that foundation done and it's ready to go, building the structure is very fast. It just goes up. Every day you see progress. But building foundations takes a lot of time. And that's what I wrote here is, how do I extrapolate from them that foundation that they had? Because that foundation is what got them to where they are. And that's how I broke it down. Okay,
can we see a copy of your book? I think you have it with you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes.
It's called, there you go. The lights maybe ignite.
Yes, it's okay. Ignite the 12 values that fuel billionaire success.
Yes, and some people told me that David is an exact opposite of what Jack Welch's book is. Because and I'm totally fine with that, because I believe a lot of other books are more towards the monetary side.
Yes.
And now I'm just trying to focus more on the foundational basis.
Okay, well that's wonderful, and I know your book is helping a lot of people. So if you're interested in it, you could go to David Kim's website. And do you want to give us your website name?
Sure, davidkimignite.com. Or you can go to igniteenterprises.com.
Yes, and there's a store on the page, a link for the book. Yes. Okay, so there you have it, and it will be a great read. He's very knowledgeable, as you've noticed, and he's not just that, he's a wonderful human being. I've had the opportunity to meet him on several occasions. So thank you so much for being here with me today, and thank you for your time.
Lisa, I am grateful, and if you want to interview me anytime, just call and say, David, be on an interview. And I'll just stop everything. I'll be on the camera and I'll start doing whatever I can. But Lisa, I am sorry that my answers are long-winded. But I just want to put a lot of substance in understanding why these answers are long, because it comes from a lot of different perspective and moving pieces that are put together.
Well, I think your answers had so much depth to them that I'm happy that you did expand your answers, because I think it's very helpful for people. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Bye-bye.